Hopefully our audio is doing well. Technical difficulties aren't happening, but welcome to another episode of Print and Pretzels. You might notice a few things have changed on the set because we're going to be doing some experiments. I got some things building in the background, but we got the camera scaffolding up, lights are getting put up, some of the stuff for the tool changer alley are being put up, and we're getting some automation stations set up, and I'll go over some of the cameras that I got set up ish for you guys tonight. But I hope everyone's having a great night and hope everyone had a great holiday weekend. So tonight we're going to be talking about the Creator 5 and the U1, and which one I am more partial to, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to fit your workflow. It still fits ours, but it's just a little bit different, and we'll get into that. So hang on to your seatbelts. We're going to be having a fun one tonight. I'm going to adjust some things here real quick so I can see the chat a little bit better. Make sure that we're live here, because last week we did have that technical difficulty pop up there. Check our live feed here, make sure it's live. So that everyone can see us. All right, looks like we're doing good. So, tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about the Creator 5. And the Creator 5 Pro is on its way somewhere on a boat. I don't know where, but it's on its way to us. Although I don't have an official like USPS or FedEx tracking number for it that I like. I've learned some things about it I don't like. And obviously I've had the U1 for about 6 months now, since January. Well, I guess 7 months now, because it is July. But I'm loving that machine, and it fits our workflow really well. I've adapted some things around it to make it a little bit more efficient, to really use those auto feeders. And I know you can use the Anycubic Ace Pro, I think, with the machine. But I'm not really too much into the multicolor going in and out of it yet. That's something I want to see if Snapmaker is going to like do something for themselves on, and doing more than 4 colors. I would suspect with everything coming out that they're also going to adapt something, but I don't know for sure. But I have adapted the Creality Space Pi X4, I think it's called. I've got that adapted to it. With very minimal modding you have to do. It's just a print that you got to go off and do, and it lets you move the feeders around. So I'm really enjoying that. Some other things that we're working on here in the studio before we really start touching in to the Creator 5 and the U1, which one I prefer more for our workflow. I do want to give you guys some updates that I am starting the solar aspect of the studio. And what I mean by solar is starting to incorporate solar power into our studio, and not so much for printer power, but for drying. As if you've been following the channel for a while, I've got tons and tons of rolls of filament that just sit out, and well, they need to be dried before I use them if they sit out for more than like a week. So let me check in with the chat here. Hope everyone's doing good. Oh, looks like our overlay moved around here. There it goes. Is the Creator 5 more loud than the U1? No, definitely not. I have one Creator 5 and 4 U1s, and even with the top cover, the U1 is still louder. But the Creator 5 has its own set of issues, and I can deal with the noise. I mean, they're a little ways behind me, but even when I was in the smaller studio, you guys couldn't really hear it on the microphone, as far as I'm aware of. So it's not overly loud. It really gets better when you put the top cover on. and we'll be getting 2 more of the top covers when they come out. But the Creator 5 is definitely quieter. I will say it's still got a little bit of travel speed noise, but it's got a smaller build plate, so it doesn't travel as far. Joshua Owen, I have my unboxed U1 sitting next to me. Going to set it up tomorrow. First 3D printer. Congratulations on your new U1. You're gonna love it. I absolutely love our machines. They work so well. Just be careful if you're gonna be setting it up. When you go to put in the screws to the tool heads, just make sure you're putting the right screws in the right spots. So they're very similar screws, just one shorter than the other. And when you put it into the USB ports on the top of the tool heads, I believe you want to use the shorter screws so that the screws don't go through into your tool head. Verify that with your manual, but I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact you got to put the certain screws in certain spots. I've done it 4 times now, and if you over tighten those longer screws into it, it can break your tool head. But congratulations on the Snapmaker U1, and you're going to really enjoy that thing. If you want to pick up the BQ Cryo Plate, it really helps with bed adhesion. I haven't used the gold plates for quite a while, and they're more like a gold medal now up in the wall. All right. I was looking yesterday at the price of the Creator on Amazon, and the difference is not that much compared to the price of the U1. It really is not. I think Amazon's got to tack on their whatever portion, but as far as the workflow portion of the Creator 5 versus the U1, let's get into that for tonight's episode. So like I said earlier, I've had the Creator 5 for about 6 weeks now. Only 4 of that has been real testing though, because we were moving the studio over from the old studio to here. And I've had the U1s, 2 of them one of them for almost 7 months. The next one was, I think it's about 4 months old, and then the other 2 have been here for about 2.5 months. Joshua Owen, had the BQ on the way. Have seen some other vids with people with the screw issue, so we'll be super careful. Awesome, I'm glad you've seen that. And again, congratulations. Warhawk, I've got my Creator 5 and it's making a lot of noise from the underside. I can't tell if it's the tensioner or one of the bed screws. If it's making a lot of noise from the underside and it's like a squeaking noise, it could be one of your tensioners. It's a different machine, but I have had that kind of similar issue with one of our P1Ss, and as soon as I recalibrated the tensioner, and make sure you go to Flashforge's website or contact their support to do that, the tensioner squeaking stopped. It just needed a little bit of tension adjusting. But as far as the pain points that I have with the U1, let's start there. And I have a video coming out similar to what we're going to cover tonight, but not so much for the Creator 5, another printer that's coming out. But as far as the workflow for the U1, that machine, my biggest pain point for that is the open air spools. And I love the auto feeders. I actually thought I was going to dislike them when I first got it versus an AMS unit. But I like the auto feeders. But if I have an older roll of filament that I want to print with, or if I'm going to be doing an extended long print with something that absorbs moisture really quickly, I'm not a big fan of the side spool holders on any of these tool changers. So that's my biggest pain point for the U1. You could say that the noise is a pain point, but unless you have it in a bedroom, which I wouldn't recommend anyways, because 3D printing and sleeping is it's going to be a little bit harder to do anyways. It can be dealt with. The top covers really help. Oh, that's going to be one of the drying units here. Tells me when it's dry. That's the Creative Space Pi, if you heard that on camera or on the microphone. You can disable that. I just forgot to. We got a new one in. But like I was saying with the Creator or the U1, the biggest pain point is the printing while drying. Not the noise, not the bed adhesion. I mean, for the most part, those gold plates do work. I just like the cryo plates because they can print at a lower temperature. So I found the pain point, I solved it, and since then I've just been printing. I don't have to worry about anything else. And it's just like with the auto feeders, with the Creality Space Pi. I load it in and it goes. So now with the Creator 5, it is much cheaper. It is much, much cheaper. It's like $200 cheaper if you get it straight from Flashforge. And you can use code BeGlorious, and I think you can get $30 off. But with that being said, with that lower price point, you do lose desired. So that's why I upgraded with the Chi2 E1 filler dryer. And that actually made that spool holder, which was my biggest pain point, a much better time. No longer am I worried about the spools falling off, or it just felt like you just set it there and like hope it stayed there. It wasn't even like one of those ones that like self-adjusted like the U1s are. So that's going to be your biggest pain point on the Creator 5. For me anyways, it was those spool holders. Like it wasn't very fun to deal with. And then you're also going to have to deal with the purge strands. Purge spaghetti is what I call it. And you can print off the little bucket. You can see that in our latest video for the Creator 5. And for me, it solved it for the most part. The bucket fills up pretty fast, especially if you're changing out filament colors frequently. But that's the biggest two pain points I have with that machine. I've since solved that. I actually didn't even use the magnets for the purge bucket. I used the 3M strips that Velcro together. So eventually I'll get the right magnets that go into the purge bucket. But I've seen the Creator 5 Pro and the fan issues out there with sucking the purge in, but I've seen that the software has been updated for that. I did notice that out there. We don't have the Pro version yet. Like I said, it should be on its way. But I'm excited to get that. That one is one we backed because I need the enclosure. I really am enjoying the enclosures around our other machines. It keeps the cat hair out of them. Although I've noticed with the bigger studio, I don't really have to fight that as much. Go figure. Let's see. Warhawk. It's clinking every time bed goes up and down. That I would reach out to Flashforge support on, just because that's not normal. If there's a clanking or clunking that's going when it's going up and down, I'm wondering, just double check your bed screws for when you first got it, that you got rid of all the red, well, I don't know if they're red labeled or not on there, but the ones that you're supposed to remove that keep the build plate anchored down. And if you have, then definitely contact Flashforge support on that, or join one of the communities for that issue, because I think a couple other people have out there. I haven't really been on the community page too much because I've been setting up the studio, but I know people have been out there, have fixed that issue. So just check out those community pages. I've seen them on Facebook. Let's see. I'm going to sell my H2C soon and buy another U1. The H2C is definitely going to be slower because you still have that filament retraction time. Even if you have like your AMS units right next to your machine, it's still going to add a little bit of retraction time. And the nozzle swapping, or the nozzle swapping, tool changing on the U1 is 5 seconds or less. And I've seen mods out there that it can be even less than that. And with the H2C, it's going to be 7 to 8 seconds at best. Now, do I think it's going to be a big issue over time? Not really. But if you're in a production environment and you do 4 colors or less, or 4 materials or less, and you want to get as many prints off the machine as fast as you can, then the U1 is going to be your jam. Now, if you want engineering materials, H2C is probably going to be a better option. But we don't have engineering materials here, so we don't have an H2C. Not to mention that the price point was too high for us to justify. When you even still, with the $2,000 price point that I've seen recently, you can still get 2 U1s for that. So 2 machines versus 1 still doesn't, like, the math isn't mathing for that machine. Bad Trippa, print quality C5 versus U1. Any clear winner? It's funny that you mentioned that because on the table in front of me, you can't see it because of the way I have the cameras adjusted, but I did get a camera set up so we can go over that today. I'm hoping this is the first run that we're going to have with this camera, but I did print these on the U1 and the Creator 5. They're the same base material, silk gold from G-Tech, on the same generic silk gold profile on both machines. I had to use Flash Studio because I don't have my Creator 5 set up in Orca Slicer yet. I hadn't updated an Orca Slicer and it like wiped it out. But I printed these off and we'll go over that in just a second. Let me get that camera up for you guys. Bad Trippa U1. I think you're not missing out on much there. So I'm gonna open up the print cam here. Hopefully this works. All right. So these are the two files that I printed. They're both by Cinderwing 3D, and this one, the Sunflower Dragon, there it is. I printed on the Creator 5, and the silk turned out great. The other materials were just fine, and I don't see any layer lines. I don't see like any sort of issues at all. The quality is really good. It was a 0.2 layer height, and it saved so much material. It's crazy. And then we've got the same color is for the gold, the G-Tech Silk PLA, and this was on the U1. This is no, it's a different file. This is the Steampunk Dragon, but it turned out just as well. I can't really say that one is better than the other when it comes to print quality. They both print outstanding. When the U1 came out, it struggled a little bit with silk, and because you would see some of the layer lines in the silk. But since then, I printed this on sometime between January and now. They fixed that, and whether it's somewhere in Orca Slicer, they fixed it, and it just is so much better. And I can't complain about the print quality. I haven't had any issues with shifting or anything. I can't argue with the print quality on either one of the machines. You're going to get great prints on either one. I have no complaints on that whatsoever. Let me get that taken off here so you can see me again. But yeah, I don't have any complaints on either machine. They both print really well. And I've printed a bunch of things on the Creator 5 right now. And I'm printing something bigger in silk because I really want to test out the full build volume. I really want to get an extended print on it. I've done plenty of the little ones like these, but I have to get a bigger print out on it because I want to be able to have multiple ways to showcase, okay, it can handle smaller prints, it can handle bigger prints, it can handle extended prints. I have actually, I can't believe it managed to still work like that, but I did a series of prints, and for whatever reason, I just threw the build plate on there. This is the Creator 5. I threw the build plate on there. It wasn't even on there all the way, and it was kind of like lifted off. It still managed to print. I don't know how. I hope it was filming time-lapse at that point in time, because if it is, I'll be able to grab that and show that in my review video. I was fully surprised that the bed leveling on that was so good, because it was probably at least a 1/4 inch off. And I don't know how it managed to do that. So props to the Creator 5 for being able to do that. That was total user error, and it still overcame that. I've had that issue on the U1. I put the build plate on there and I didn't align it properly, but it wasn't a lifted problem. It was just slightly off calibration, not calibration, but off center, and it printed fine. But I didn't need to use the full bed in that instance, so it didn't really cause any problems. But I was very surprised when I came back and I was like, oh, wow, okay, well, I didn't put that back right, and it's still printed. Let's see. Catch up on some of the comments. Warhawk. I have both. I was impressed with the C5 ability to do overhangs because of my first print. I forgot to put supports on, which it needs, and it did really well. I've seen some of the review videos out there on the overhangs and that they're pretty impressive. I don't really do too many overhangs, but if I do, now I know I should put them on the Creator 5 because it supposedly does it very well, and I'll test that out. Nate, how's it going? Hello. Bat, any VFAs? I know my U1 has some VFA issues, and I need to print at 210 millimeters to avoid them. I haven't had any visual, I think that's what that means. I can't pronounce it. Any visual problems at all. I don't have, like, on one of the silk prints that I did in the beginning of the U1, you could see where there were some visual lines. And I don't mean like the layer lines, but like when the silk printed, it wasn't like an even sheen. You could see like lines in it. And since then, I don't know when it happened because I haven't printed silk in a while for the U1, but I don't have any issues with it. So I personally don't, but it's not a problem for me at all. Nate, biggest flaws for me is in the purging. Yep, that's my biggest flaw other than the spool holders. Just got a poop bucket. Yeah, I wish the poop bucket was a little bit bigger. Spaghetti string is no longer an issue. Let's see. Have you done any support interface and different material? Is it worth losing a color to do that all the time? I've done it on the U1, and yes, if you can print in 3 colors and have that support, it makes breaking the supports off so much easier. And I usually use it when I'm printing PETG. I use it with PLA, transparent PLA, and just in case I don't want any color bleeding, I know PLA isn't supposed to, but I use transparent anyways, just for extra buffer. And it breaks them off so easy, or makes breaking them off so easy. And I've also used PETG with TPU on both the U1 and the Creator 5. Actually, let me grab it here for you real quick. I'll show it to you. Give me 2 seconds. So I've done TPU and PETG on the Creator 5. I've done it on the D1, but I don't have a print to showcase to you guys. But let me put this print cam back up here. So this is TPU, 90A to be specific. I don't remember what brand it is right now. I want to say it's Cookie Cat, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So this color is the TPU. Let's see if I can, my camera's a little higher up there. This color is the TPU, and everything else is PETG. The black eyes, the horns, and even the little bit of white that's in the eyes. And then the little case on the tail here is also PETG, and I printed this in PETG. So it's pretty cool that I was pretty impressed with the Creator 5 when it came to that multi-material for TPU. And since you have the filament feed pass right there on the side, it's almost a little bit easier to print TPU straight from the spools on the side. There's less resistance. Now you still gotta go slow because TPU is notorious for stretching when it's being printed. But I'm very happy with how that machine's performing, especially with TPU. I do have a lot of TPU that I've done on the U1, but it's always been smaller things like the little dumplings here. I'll do some dumpling TPUs or dumplings in TPU, but if I do extended printing on the U1, there's always that chance of a nozzle clog. I'm not sure why it's like that, but I did release a short video on it was like a day and a half print on the U1 for PETG and TPU combined for a sea turtle, and I got all the way to like the last 3 hours, and then the TPU clogging and ruin the print. You can check out that short video on our channel. Let me catch up on some of the comments here. Anyway, here's my new hobby. I have almost 200 hours on my Creator 5 Pro, and I'm very happy with it, even with the interesting choices. So, the interesting choices, I am also in agreement with. Some of the design choices, I'm like, not exactly how I would have done it, but it works. I can't argue with it. It works. I don't have the 5 Pro yet. I didn't get the airdrop shipping, so it's gonna take a minute for ours to get here. But I have no issues with the Creator 5. There's pain points that can be solved. However, my biggest thing with them for our workflow is going to be that manual filament process. It's not as quick, and if you guys don't have multiple printers, this wouldn't be a problem for you all. But loading filament, if I want to change all 4 rolls of filament out, and I'm hoping this will be fixed in a software update, if I want to change all 4 filaments, it's so much longer to do on the Creator 5 than the U1. The U1, I drop the filament in there, I tell it what filament's in each slot, and I say 1, 2, 3, 4, go, and then it does it. The Creator 5, it does it one at a time, and there's no other way to do that. I've sent some emails to Flashforge to say, hey, is there a way you guys can program this to have that option? Like, if I only want to change one, that's fine, but program it so that it can do each one. All at once, I should say. Warhawk, by the way, thank you. Clunk gone. I tightened the tensioner after checking it. Belts were way too loose. I think the sound was jumping. Awesome. Congratulations. And you're well on your way, hopefully, to printing and doing great things. K1 KPC, my Creator 5 Pro is on the way back to the factory. 2 unknown errors on the display. Then I continued print. The tool head ran into the plate and gouged the plate and bent the nozzle it was using. I'm sorry that happened. That's rough. Did they give you a refund, or did they offer you a new unit? I hope that they're taking care of you. As far as I'm aware, Flashforge support has been pretty good. I haven't had to handle anything with that yet, but I'm hoping that you get a printer that you are happy with and that treats you right. Let's see, R2K No Heroes, can you disconnect the tubes and feed it straight into the top of the tool head? I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. I'm wondering if there's a way I can arrange for some 4-color TPU printing like that, but I have to figure out where I want to put the spool holders for the TPU. I could turn the machine, I guess. Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to turn it where it's at and put spool holders up on the SCOTUS panels behind it for that side of the room. That might be something that I'll be checking out and testing. Let's see. But I don't have any issues with the Creator 5. I am enjoying the multicolor and multi-material aspect of it, especially with these TPU printing. That changes the name of the game. There's rolls of TPU I've had for a while that I'm going to be able to use in certain things now. So I kind of want to do some like glow-in-the-dark TPU stretch frogs at some point, and the Creator 5 is definitely capable of that. A refund because the supply on the C5 is really short. Okay, I'm glad that at least got you to that refund, and that may explain why we don't have our C5 Pro yet either, because I have heard that it also is a pretty short supply on those, which may be a good thing, because there could be any QA QC that they need to do can be done at the factory before a bunch of them get shipped out. It was printing great too. I'm sorry to hear that. So if you're looking for a filament dryer that works well with the Creator 5, I definitely would recommend the Chi2 E1 that you see behind me in the most recent video. Our affiliate links in that. The filament pass almost line up perfectly with them. You can orient the boxes around. It just makes life so much easier with that machine. The VDS is supposed to be coming out sometime later this year. I don't know when Flashforge is going to be dropping that, but they will be. And speaking of filament drying, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of what I'm working on currently, because it's coming out pretty soon if it's not already out for pre-order. SUNLU sent this over to us to check out and review. This guy, if you remember, you got to see this past Sunday, but if you're not, you can see it now. So I've been testing this guy out. If you don't know what it is, it's for the AMS light, and it's pretty ingenious design. I thought for sure this wasn't going to have hinges, and it does. So shout out to SUNLU on that. Latches up pretty nicely, and that's what I've been filming in the background. I also have something else to show you guys, which I'm excited for. We finally got another camera going over on, and you probably see some shadows right now because I haven't got the lights set up perfectly yet, but we've got another camera set up over towards Automata Station. And let me show you what that looks like. So this is where, I know it says Alpha Centauri, but that's from an old overlay. Let's see here, I'll snap that off there real quick. But we've got it sort of set up over there. So we've got the A1 right here, A1 Mini Alpha with the plate cycler on it. And I am checking out the A1 on the Panda stack there and to see how well it fits. I got the little purge basket, 3-inch strip to the side there. And then of course I got the P1S over there that I'm going to be testing out the Panda vent here pretty shortly. And then we have the Alpha Centauri carbons that are below, and I don't know what I'm going to put in that hole that's still there. Some sort of printer's going to go there. And then I got some product that I'm working on over there on the left-hand side. You may notice that you see the green power strips there. So let me switch back over to you guys. Those green power strips are going to be eventually what run everything off of solar. Is how I'm going to identify versus power from the actual house. And I'm working on another station. I'm going to call it a dry docking station, where I'm going to have a bunch of filament dryers over there, and it's all going to be powered by solar. I don't want it powered by anything else because I want to be able to dry all my filament and have no cost to me, or us, I should say. But that way, because filament heaters, dryers, are kind of electricity intensive at times, and I want to be able to offset that cost for our business using solar. And I'm going to be doing some video footage on that. It'll be a small test. It'll be like 1 or 2 filament dryers with 1 or 2 portable solar panels, and hey, how long can we run a dryer on a fully charged battery? So that's what I'm working on behind, to the right of automation station. So mine was working great too. If you can feed it straight into the heads and have them on rollers and dryers, you can print lower short hardness TPUs. That would be awesome. If we could print, I don't know, in the 80s, somewhere in the excuse me, 80s TPU for really squishy stuff, that would be awesome. Anyway, here's my new hobby. That's a really good idea with the color-coded strips. Yes, and ironically, I was going to get more of them on Amazon, and go figure, they're out of stock. Like, and I'm going to use the same kind of concept for the studio here too. I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys in some of the first look footage or not. I'll try to. But when I go to do like the solar conversion into adding into the studio, I have to do some additional electrical work for the studio. And I have to sort of separate the printers and stuff off of the grids or the breakers they're on now, because this basement, when it was built, wasn't built for a print farm. So we have to add some additional electricity, and I want to be able to have one color outlet for power that is on one breaker, and then another color outlet for power that's on another breaker, and then a third color outlet that'll be powered by a breaker that is also going to be eventually on a solar grid, which will be, I haven't decided which company I'm going to work with on that, or purchase stuff from for that, but I want to be able to because we have this SUNLU AMS heaters. I got 7 of them. We have the IBOS heater for the AMS, and then I have like a dozen filament dryers. I want all of those to be on the same thing that's powered by solar eventually. That's long-term goals. But if you're just now joining us, we're looking at the Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro versus the U1. I don't have a Pro to show you tonight. We have ordered one, but it's on its way to us at some point. But as far as the U1 versus the Creator 5, if you're okay with, and I shouldn't say you're okay with, if it fits your workflow, and the manual filament feeding, which can be sort of laborious at times, especially if you have a print farm or you want multiple versions of it, we'll add additional time. So for me, what'll fit our workflow a little bit better than the Creator 5 is going to be the U1. And that's, it's not a flagpole I'm going to plant in the ground permanently, but as far as efficiency for time, the U1 is going to win. And it's because I don't have time to set up filament for the Creator 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and sit there and wait for each tool head to do its thing. The U1 does 1, 2, 3, 4 if I program it that way, or I can do it individual, which is super nice. That's the biggest trade-off I see between the two, other than the build volume, of course. You can get the IBOS cryo plate or Cryos plate for the bed adhesion, and that was a smart move by IBOS. You can see that in our video there, how we use that, and everything's solvable for that machine too. Even with the Creator 5 Pro and the filament spaghetti getting sucked into the fan, I do believe they've solved that. So I don't think either machine is going to upset anyone if they get it, unless there's a QA/QC issue, and then that's not necessarily a machine overall issue. But I would definitely still lean towards the U1, especially if you're going to think you're going to wind up getting multiple ones, or you want the biggest build volume possible with one of these tool changers that doesn't cost $2,000. So the U1 is still going to be the machine that we are going to compare everything to, because it's the first and still the best. There's no, for the extra money that you would spend between the Creator 5, I don't want to say Pro, but Creator 5, I guess, and the U1, it's hands down going to have more build volume and overall easier process to put filament in. Those are the two things that I see that the U1 have over the Creator 5. Now, there are things the Creator 5 has that I believe does better than the Snapmaker U1, and that's TPU. I feel that so far I have printed more things on the U1 or the Creator 5 and TPU than I have on the U1, just because I've had better experience with it. Now, I'm probably going to go back and evaluate what I did on the U1 to see what may have caused that large filament jam, but I have more confidence in TPU on the Creator 5. Catch up on some of the comments here. I was using a SUNLU dryer with mine, no issues. That's good. I have a bunch of the SP2s and some of the S4s that I'll try with it. The reason why I like the T2E1 dryer so much is because the interface is on the correct, for that machine, for the correct side. It really just makes it space efficient, and since you can take the boxes off too, it makes it kind of nice that if I want to have black and white on there always, or if I want to swap out 2 colors, then I can just remove one box and replace it with another box. Warhawk, I've already been looking where I can attach hinges on the Creator 5 for a front door, going on to close the back and looking for a lid like the IKEA one. Yes, let me know, because I need to do the same thing for our Creator 5, because I'm not a big fan of the openness of it. Maintenance, you're going to get more debris and dust, and for us, cat hair. And it's going to gunk up your machine over time, especially if you live in like a desert environment where there's dust everywhere. It's going to make maintenance happen more often. R2K No Heroes, yours is coming around the same time as mine. Well, that's probably pretty accurate. We'll see. I don't know if I've gotten any shipping information on it yet. I'll reach out to Flashforge's support and see if I can get any update on it. I definitely want to get that in here and tested. And I'll probably put it either where the Creator 5 is now or below it. I'm not sure which side I'll put it on, or which one I'll put it on. But as these tool changers come in, I kind of want to have like a history of them, unless if it's a workflow kind of wonky. So the Creator 5 is essentially the first one that is comparable to the U1. And so the next slot will be for whatever one we pick up next, and then the third and fourth slot there on the wall you see behind me. And that'll give everyone that's viewing the channel a chance over time to see what works and what doesn't work for our workflow that we're keeping around. At any point in time, you'll be able to glance over what I'm calling Tool Changer Alley and say, hey, all right, Ken's workflow is this. And some of our upcoming videos that I'm doing, the shot's going to be kind of similar to what you see here, but it's going to be me essentially taking a break with you all and saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking about this week. I'm calling it Tech Thoughts. And it'll be like, the next one is the Creality machine when it comes out. That'll be one of the first Tech Thoughts videos that I'm going to be doing. And it's going to feel more like, hey, he's in the middle of working, but this is what he's thinking about, and this is what he thinks about this machine or this technology that's coming out. So you guys can look forward to that. R2K, there's already designs for enclosures and printables in Maker World. I'm not surprised, because the Creator 5 got out real quick. Like, it wasn't long after pre-orders were over that they got it out to us all. And then once people get it, or sometimes before, models can be generated, and people are really good at making mods for things, and I'm really impressed with that kind of stuff. I want to try 4 of the Prusa dry boxers on my U1. I've heard they might fit on the right spool holders. I can see that. For me, in our workflow, those Creality machines, I got to do a video for you guys. I'm waiting on a couple of parts that I ordered that are, there's nothing special. You can get them on Amazon. They're super cheap. But I'm currently waiting on a couple of parts from Amazon that are the PTFE adapters that you plug into and you can't pull out of, but the backside screws into the prints that you can print off. And I'm waiting for those to get here so that I can shoot the full video on that. And you can literally just, with the Creality Space Pi sitting right there, you load it into the dryer, and as long as you load it into the thing, the PTFE tube that comes out the back goes into the auto feeder, and it just right up it goes. It's a breeze, and it fits our workflow. It fits on the shelves nicely. I love the LED lights in the dryer. It just makes it so much easier to use and see what filament colors I have in there. You can see how a couple of them have them off, and that's because when it's done drying the filament and it's reached the proper humidity, it actually, you can set it to where if the light's off, that means the filament dryer is not drying. It has reached its drying cycle and the humidity is where it's supposed to be, and that's just efficiency in my opinion. It's just super nice to see and to have. It's something I didn't even think about with the other dryers that we have. The SP4s have a little LED light on the front that turns off when they're not drying, but it doesn't illuminate whatever color roll you have in there, which to me that feels like a mini ecosystem for that dryer. It's nice. Versus their original space pie dryers, I can't stand them because of the way they open. It makes loading the filament kind of a pain. Let's see here. What else can I talk about the Creator 5 that I enjoy? It's definitely quieter. I like the fact that the tool heads have LED lights on them. I know they don't really tell you much, but it's got a nice design to it, overall aesthetic. What I don't like is that, and this is a creator problem, and I don't mean the machine problem, but like a content creator problem. I do not like that LED light on the side. Cameras pick it up and it looks like it flickers, and that's why I have mine's off right now. And shout out to Flashforge for this part of it. When you have the light off, it doesn't really affect print quality or like the AI monitoring. It might be because I have good lighting back there with the machine, but even when I have the lights off in the studio, it handles printing no problem with the detection and any issues that might come up. So I have had a couple of issues where the tool head didn't dock properly, but I just put it on there, back on there, and then I clicked resume, and it handled it just fine. I don't know what happened, but it didn't put the tool head back on. But it's not a major pain point because it didn't ruin the print. Now, if it ruined the print, it would have been a bigger problem. And right now, on the Creator 5, let me bring up the print cam again. I'm testing out 3 different versions of or colors of silk, but I'm using, again, this file, but bigger, on the Creator 5. I blew it up to be as big as the print bed could handle because that's the next test I'm doing. And this is technically a 4-color model, and I'm printing it in all 4 colors. 3 of them are silk, and 1 of them is a glitter. And I really want to see how that turns out. And how it really handles some of the silk out there. I've got one silk on the machine. It's from Creality that I've really struggled with to print properly on any machine, including the U1, just because it's got I don't know if it's like a pigment stuff in there, powder or something, but sometimes it can get little specks in it. So we'll see how the Creator 5 does with it. Miley, I compared the Creator 5 to the in the U1 and got the U1. Great choice, Miley. Like I said, I think for the overall, if your budget can handle the U1, it is the way to go. Its overall workflow is more efficient and less manual. If I had to put it in like 2 sentences, I just enjoy the auto feeders. And I can load all the filament at once if I want to, or swap out one color, versus the Creator 5. That's my biggest problem with that now, and I can't solve it because I don't have software access to fix it. Is it takes time for me to change out all 4 colors if I want to, and I think eventually the Flashforge will probably fix that in the software, but I don't know that for sure. SD, have you tried adding text with Flash Studio? You literally can't see anything in the text panel. I'm on a Mac with the latest software update today. No, I've not tried that. I've not tried adding any text as far as the software goes. I'll have to try that out and see if I can't replicate that problem. Maybe like something on the bottom of here that has our logo or something, or 2 GGs for the Glorious Geeks. But I wonder if, do you have the latest version of the software? Maybe they fixed it in the latest version. I don't know. I would definitely send that to Flashforge support and let them know that that's an issue going on. Put it in a bug report or something. So that way, because if one person's having it, it's more than likely a couple of people are having it. SVT. I was going to upgrade from my 85X when the Creator 5 Pro drops to the general public. Unfortunately, I want a higher extruder temp. I already made a chamber heater for my 85X. What temperature are you looking to print at for, like, what's your max temperature you're looking at? Because if the Creator 5 Pro doesn't meet it, then I'm not sure any of the Flashforge machines or either one of them are going to be able to do it, because it's the same essential structure, I believe, for the machines. Luckily for our workflow, most of it's pretty lower end temperature stuff. I don't really deal in the engineering type materials. I want to, just for like if I want to work for some things that I'm going to put out in our yard, or I'm going to fix some stuff up around the house. So I'll probably set up some sort of like dedicated enclosure space that can be invented at some point, but just not quite yet. SD, I'm on the latest version, which popped up today. I don't know if it was the problem before this update, as it was the first time I used it. El Gato, yep, yep. That's part of the Glorious Geeks, guys. The cats. There's 5 of us down here. The higher the better. I know 400 plus isn't realistic. I just want room to grow for home projects. I'm in the same boat. I'd like to have one machine that can really do these higher end materials, just in case I want to do some home projects. But overall, for the business, the machines that we have are currently doing quite well. 10-second runtime. 320 will get you a PBA, which is pretty awesome for the price. That's checking out another comment here. So I'm looking at your back wall. It looks too empty. Yeah, I agree. That's what we're going to be filling out here soon. It's kind of empty for a purpose. So what you're looking at behind me is the set that I'm currently building. You see the painter's tape up on the wall there. I'm getting ready to paint up there. And it's going to be Sherwin-Williams. It's a gray, a darker gray. Can't remember specifically what shade that I'm going to be doing. But I'm building out Toolchanger Alley, is what I'm calling it. When these tool changers come out, I really want to be able to showcase and have like a history timestamp as it comes out. Okay, the U1 was first, but it also fits our workflow the best so far. And I'm really enjoying the forum that we have. And shout out to Snapmaker on that. They have just made a really dependable machine. There's been a couple issues, but most of them are user error. I don't put the build plate on right, or I haven't checked Orca Slicer, and for some reason, mainline Orca Slicer was what I used before when this happened, and the build plate volume, for whatever reason, was off on it. I since have converted over to Snapmaker Orca, or Snorka, as it's called, and I haven't had any issues. It's really been flushed out since the last 6 months since it's come out. And I really enjoy it. And it's got more of a print farm management than standard Orca Slicer does. So I can use Snorka now for my file that I'm designing. Like say I'm designing, or not designing, but I'm programming this file on it. And if I want to send it to multiple machines in standard Orca Slicer, and I could be wrong on this, this is just the way I've been doing it, I have to slice it over and over and over again for all 4 machines. Versus in Snapmaker Orca or Snorka, I can do the one file and send it to multiple printers. I like that farm management aspect of it, and I wouldn't even know that if I didn't have multiple printers. Miley on Disney, don't forget to like the video. Yes, please, don't forget to like the video if you are enjoying this content, and hit that subscribe, because I do these Print Pretzels every week, and the back half at the 1 hour mark, I answer any questions, or anyone that's in the chat will answer your questions, and make sure you do your research with those answers. But the back half of Print Pretzels every week is for you all, the community members, to help you out if you're having any issues on your printers that you've gotten, whether it's Creator 5, Creator 5 Pro, U1, P1S, any of the printers that are out there. We all began somewhere. And this is beginner, advanced, expert, all that kind of friendly stuff. So we're almost there. We got about 6 more minutes, and I'll do a quick recap for you all. We're talking about the Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro versus the U1. And for us, our specific workflow, We still like the U1 better than the Creator 5, and it's not by much. I mean, sheer margins. And if we were building our print farm over again tomorrow, it would still be the U1 over the Creator 5. But again, it's only because of the filament loading aspect of it. I've solved all the other things; they're just fine. I spend more time loading filament on the Creator 5 than I do the U1 because of the auto load feature and the auto processing feature when you want to change out all 4 colors. It takes me a significant more amount of time to do that on the Creator 5. Warhawk, customer service for Snapmaker has been great for me. I love mine. Going to get rid of 2 of my printers to make room for another one at least. Again, Snapmaker has got great customer support. Shout out to Warhawk on that one. They are right. Anything I've had with my U1s, which has not been much, I reach out to customer support, and it's usually a user error. And they're very community friendly. And I can't say much about Flashforge because, again, that machine's only been out for so long. So the customer support on that is relatively unknown because they don't have the time that Snapmaker's had out with their printer. SVT, I only want a tool changer for quicker support material changes. I don't mind purge waste, but I do value my time. So SVT, there's another aspect about that too. So the time aspect for the multi-material, if you have, the only one that's going to be able to compare is the X2D. And that's because the X2D has 2 separate extruders, one for support material, one for the regular material. And yeah, I know you can use the second extruder for regular material too, but I digress. If you want to use 3 materials, you're not going to have to waste time retracting it for your prints. So like, for instance, if I wanted to print in TPU and PETG combined, like I did here, but I needed an additional support material like PLA that won't stick to that, then I got it. And I won't have to retract the material every single time that I want to change a color or material. And it's going to make that time so much faster. Nate, thinking about ordering another Creator 5, it's been that good. Then again, I may wait for Cleatech or another U1. What to do? So you got me on that one, Nate. What to do is right. So the video that I'm currently working on is what I'm interested about the Cleatech when it comes out. And sneak peek for you all, just like with the Creator 5, if something does TPU better, it's got me interested because I want to be able to do TPU. I want to print my own shoes for one. That'd be nice. But for real, I want to be able to add that material more effectively to our workflow. TPU prints notoriously slow, and right now for us, it's, do I print something in TPU at a much slower pace, or do I print it in PETG and it's just not a squishy and I can print twice as fast, if not faster? That's a no-brainer for me. If I can get more prints, then I'm going to do more prints because that's just more things that we can sell. But the Cleatech system is advertising that certain TPUs can be printed up to 7 times faster. That's interesting to me. I want to see that in action, and I really want to test it out. And that's, I'm going to talk about that more in the next video that we're doing. SPT, Flashforge customer service has been fantastic for me, even though I was out of warranty. They were very helpful trying to troubleshoot my exterior issues. That's great to hear. I'm really happy to hear that. The first machine that we've ever had, from Flashforge is the Creator 5. And I haven't had to contact support for that yet, so I don't have that support experience. So it's good to hear that they do have good support. And shout out to FlexiSpot again for sending us this adjustable desk. I can turn it into a bench, I can turn it into an actual desk, and it's really helpful when I'm using the printers over there for maintenance. I can lower it down and then bring the printer over and then raise it up to my height and not have to carry it so far or so high. Easier on the back. Amazon has the Creator 5. If anyone wants to skip the weight, though the price difference may make the U1 more appealing. Nate, I would agree with that. If you're going to go through Amazon and get the Creator 5 at that price through there, the U1 is definitely going to be, because it gets pretty fast. Shout out to our U1 giveaway winner. She got her printer within like a day and a half after the announcement, so it was pretty quick. So Snapmaker ships their stuff out real quick. Nate Klaus, is that Micro Center filament? Which one? This one? No, this is actually, I think I still have some up on the shelf. Let me grab it. Let me grab it. Let's see. This one right here. It's Amelin. I might not be pronouncing it correctly. Let's see. So, get you guys the print cam back up here. So, whoops, this way. So this is Amelin's TPU. It doesn't say what sureness it is, but it's the purple, pink, orange, blue TPU. And see if I can get it to you guys up on the camera a little bit better. It's really pretty filament. It's got like a pearlescence to it, and that's what I printed that out of. And that's a TPU that it really stretches. It's pretty good at stretching. But that's the TPU I use for this Dumpling Dragon from Cinder Wing 3D. The blue boxes, no, that's all SUNLU filament. That's how much SUNLU filament I use. You can get pretty crazy. So all that you see on the right-hand side on the bottom, that's all PLA. All this over here is all PETG, and everything up on the rack up there is PETG, except for like there's like three or four spools of TPU. Haven't really found a location in the new studio yet for TPU to live. Nate Klaus, fancy, probably 50 bucks a roll. No, I don't think it is that much. But caveat on it, I think I might have picked that up on an Amazon Prime Day deal. But if you guys are looking for fancy filament, you can use code BeGlorious over at, well, that's slipping my mind. Polymaker over at Polymaker's website. And then you can also use code BeGlorious at SUNLU's website and get 3% off your order there too. But that's what we use. 90% of our workflow is SUNLU's filament. It's a good budget price. It's great quality filament, and I really enjoy using their products. It's not just their filament either. Their filament dryers, they work so well, and I will show you guys again on the camera on what I'm currently filming for as well. If you have an AMS light, this bad boy came in, and I really like it a lot. I did specifically ask SUNLU, let me get out of my own shadow here. I did specifically ask SUNLU about the internals of this, and they said they did tons and tons of heavy testing on it, and that it didn't affect, like the heaters inside didn't affect any of the electrical components in there, and I'm super glad to hear that. So I reached out to them when they said that, because I'm like, there's electronics in there, and there's heater in there, and I'm like, how does that work? So that's the answer they gave me. So, but I just finished filming the B-roll for this. That's why there's not two rolls of filament in here. I spent a lot of time printing silk PLA on this because they had been sitting out forever, probably the last 6 months or more. And I'm like, hey, can I use my AMS light again with my plate cycler? And I can, so that's nice. I'm still debating on it if I want to get the A2L and use this with it. I'm not sure. I have to evaluate if the A2L fits our workflow. Yes, it's got the giant build volume, but I don't know. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool to print giant single color dragons on that for our booth, but it just, I don't know if it fits our workflow. That'd be a very niche thing to do for the cost of that machine. Hey, Klaus, are you supposed to leak that? Shout out to SUNLU. I'm not leaking it technically. There's already videos out there that are on it. This is like the window that they gave us to release that video. Nate, Amazon Prime Day deal was a steal for me. I picked up 18 Easton filament rolls for under 150 bucks. Yep. Prime Day deals are pretty crazy. I picked up some new filaments that I've been having my eye on. I haven't tested them yet, so I don't want to like give any shout outs to them yet. But some new filaments from Toxin 3D, and they have some really cool pearlescent, however you pronounce that word, glow in the dark filament that I'm going to try. And one of the things that I'll be building for this set specifically is a glow in the dark box. So that way, when I have glow in the dark prints that come off on Print Pretzels, I can show you all what they look like. I'll put a camera in there, what they look like glow in the dark. I'll have them here, I'll charge them real quick, and then I'll put them in the black glow zone, and then you guys can see what they look like in glow in the dark. I think, and that's in theory. I don't have a, if you guys know a camera that picks up glow in the dark material really well, drop it in the comments or send me an email, because I'm looking at doing that. 10-second runtime. I've had some 7-color prints I want to do, but I think instead of buying a Bamboo H2C, I'm just going to convert PAX firmware and do an open AMS on a Gen 1 AMS unit. See how that goes and save $1,500 plus. So I know for a fact there are content creators out there that have done the Anycubic Ace on the Snapmaker U1 and have not had hardly any issues. And that's even without a filament cutter. That's what, you know, Gen 1 AMS units, or not AMS units, but Gen 1 machines that work for those machines needed. And the filament swapping has been great. So I don't need anything more than 4 colors. Would it be great if I could? Sure. I'd love to print off a giant Bulbasaur for my son. That'd be awesome. I think that those times are coming though from Snapmaker. I don't think they're just gonna stop with the U1. I think they got other things in the works. I don't know for sure. I don't think they're gonna stop with the U1. They're probably gonna do a Pro. I mean, it wouldn't make sense, especially with companies like Creality doing tool changers that have been known to do like K2, K2 Pro, K2 Plus. I don't think it stops there, but I don't know anything. I promise. Ten-second runtime. I found Matte TPU last week that I've absolutely fallen in love with. Drop it in the comments. Drop me a link. Let me check that out. Matte TPU. I've never heard of that. Nate Klaus, is the Creator 5 Pro on the ground yet for you? It is not. It is not on the ground yet for me. I really wish it was. I don't have a tracking number for it. Nothing. I'm where is this thing? But that's the way the Creator 5 was for us too. I got a tracking number at one point, and like 2 days later, it was not at our doorstep. So it'll get here, and when it does, we'll be doing content on it. And that's the one that we purchased ourselves. So you can bet that anything that's wrong with that unit, I will definitely full 110% full-fledged on that. I do the same thing for all our units though, whether they're sent to us or I just can't. As you can see, I got rid of those side spool holders real quick. I couldn't stand them. One armed bandit, Solvo M1D, piquing my interest hard. Me too, with that IDEX. That's another video that I got in the pipeline that I'm going to be working on. Solvo is an unknown company to me, and I don't have any experience. Just like with Flashforge, when that printer dropped, I didn't have any experience on that, but I'm seeing prints that they're putting out there on their social media, and it's got my interest. Just like the Creality K3 that's coming out soon, that's also got my interest, and I'm like, you guys are making a tool changer. It looks like it's gonna be a good a machine that's reliable. Let's see what it's all about. I'd like to see the M1D, the Creality K3. There was another one I saw recently too, and I was like, oh, that's coming out too. Don't be surprised if Bamboo drops something on us. They kind of like drop things and say, here you go. There's not really like much forewarning on their kind of drops. So they probably have something in the works, I would imagine. Who else? Who else is gonna have something in the works? I wouldn't be surprised if Elegoo has something in the works, because they are really good about taking whatever somebody else has done and make it super affordable. So, and the frame of the Elegoo Centauri Carbon isn't that much different than the Flashforge Creator 5, in my opinion. I have Centauri Carbon sitting right over here. And if you think about it, let's see here. Go over to Alpha Centauri. So you can't really see them fully, but the Elegoo Centauri Carbons are down there below the automation station. And they're not that much different than the Creator 5 in essence. And the Centauri Carbon 2s, go back to the mistake. And the Centauri Carbon 2s, they're even more primed to do the tool changing than the original Centauri, because they have the filament feed pass on the side, just like the Creator 5. Does Elegoo take that design and make it their own on the Centauri frame? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they're already working on it, though. Luis, what happened to all your Bamboo Lab printers? So, again, we have one of them over there in automation station. I have not gotten rid of the Bamboo printers. They still work, I promise. And you can see I still have all the overlays put up here too. I still have the Bamboo stuff. I'm not getting rid of it, so don't worry on that. Oops, let's get rid of that. And this one. I'm not getting rid of any of that stuff. They're still working. I'm figuring out where everything lives in the new studio. And right now, I don't know where the P1Ss are going to live. I know, I can't show you, I don't have a camera over there right now, but I'm building out a dry dock in the new studio that's going to be completely solar powered. Right now, the Centauri Carbons live in the corridor, is what I'm calling it. I've got IKEA shelves in the corridor, and they're on their own row. And at some point, maybe I can get, I don't know how to do, I'll have to figure out how to get a camera run over there, but the corridor has, maybe that's what I want to calling it, I don't know. It has the two P1Ss over there, and at the end of the corridor is where the artisan's going to live too. I haven't got that set up yet either, and we still have that in the studio too. So that's a huge printer, and the end of the corridor is like a perfect spot for that to live. Was really looking forward to upgrading Core 1 to Index. However, temp limitations 300 max along with the loss of print area is making it less appealing before even account for the Prusa tax. Yeah, I agree with that statement. Nate Claus, the cats are monitoring him. If you haven't seen any of our shorts, sometimes the cats don't do great jobs at monitoring. Dante, or no, it was Riley that wanted a spaghetti dinner one night. Let's see. Prusa is a no-go for me. All their printers are just too pricey. I am right there. If you're building a business, getting the Prusa printers isn't going to be the most economical for you. Now, will you get great printers? No doubt. And they'll be fully open source, no doubt. That's what Prusa's banked on, among other things. But if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck, they're not going to be the way to go. In my opinion, I can't state that for a hardcore fact, but if you're trying to get the most out of your wallet for what you can get from it, they're not going to be the way to go. Snapmaker is going to be in the middle of the road there, and if you're trying to get the most for your amount of money, or the least amount of money, the Creator 5 is going to be the lowest priced tool changer at this point. I don't know what the Creality K3 is going to come out as. I don't know what the MD is coming out. I'm seeing that if you back it, you get it's around 1,200. I'm going to put a video out on that shortly here. It'll be after the K3 video that I'm going to drop here soon. Hopefully I can finish editing that tonight. So we're a little over an hour and 15 minutes into the live stream, and now I want to open it up to anyone that has any questions for their printers. Print Pretzels, that's what we're all about on the back half of the show. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat family, or replay family. If you made it this far, you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see if I can't find an answer for them before the next live stream. And if you haven't got an answer for me before the next live stream, you can always drop it in our Discord, the Glorious Geeks HQ. We are always available on Discord, the community. SPT, I think the Creator 5 Pro will sell great. It's a great price for the point for the features. I agree. I think that the Creator 5 and Creator 5 Pro will have not, if they have, they will, or if they have not, they will carve out their own niches for their price points. That was really hard to say. But the Creator 5 is going to be the lowest price point tool changer that you're going to get the multi-material and multicolor for. You'll have some pain points to solve. We solved them, and the machine is in production in our studio, as you can see behind me. Same thing with the Creator 5 Pro, but we'll get another E1 filament dryer to go with that one, and it'll be fully enclosed. And those will both be right there on the left-hand side of Tool Changer Alley, and we'll be roaring and ready to go. David Vanderbrook, I pre-ordered my 5. David, how's it going? I pre-ordered my 5 Pro, and I was in the 2Ks. They aren't shipping mine until the end of the month. They really messed up the rollout. I definitely don't think the rollout was optimized. I can agree with that. I think I was also in the 2Ks, somewhere in there, maybe in the late 1000s. But I feel like I ordered it really fast, as fast as I could. And we don't have ours yet either. And it seems like they're only allocating content creators one machine or the other. Let's see. What else can I tell you guys about the Creator 5 that I have encountered? Oh, if you're doing filament colors, multiple colors, please pay attention to what colors are selected by the firmware or software. When you go to, don't send it and print it and just think the colors are supposed to go where they're supposed to go, like in the Snapmaker. Don't do it. Don't make the mistake I did. I got a black flamingo, all black with pink eyes. I didn't wait for it to finish. I canceled that print. It was like this far into the giant flamingo, and I was like, what happened? And I found out the hard way that the color swap or color selection, auto selection isn't the greatest on the Creator 5. I've noticed that the black and white identification has gotten better, but the regular colors, they're still not optimized. So pay attention to those. I upload and then select the colors manually when I get to my machine. David, there is shipping ones with the higher order numbers and won't ship the first container till the end of July. Well, then I ain't getting mine for a while then. David, been there, done that, probably doing it again tomorrow. Yeah, it's easy to do. It's really, really easy to do with the Creator 5 with that color, especially since I'm so used to just click and sending with the Snapmaker U1s. I really have to hit pause when I'm uploading those prints to the Creator 5. This needs to be fixed. Yeah, I think it will be fixed in a firmware update. I think there's more critical issues that they're focused on at this point, and then it'll eventually get flushed out in the software. SD, my motto is trust but verify. 100%. Until it's proven over and over and over and over again, you can trust it, but you should also verify. Yeah, that is a good motto to have. And that's, I mean, when I got the U1s, I did the same thing. I trusted but verified until I knew that the selection was almost perfect, if not perfect. And I'm constantly going back and forth on Tool Changer Alley here because our storage area for our product is in that room over there. You can't quite see it yet, but it's there, and it's just, and that's kind of like the identity that we're finding here in the studio, the new studio from versus where we were before in our original studio. I'm finding that our workflow, I'm able to talk to you guys on my workflow. Like I'll be working and I'll come up and I'll say some stuff to the camera, and then I'll go back to keep working. And I realized that I think that's what we're gonna do for our upcoming long form videos too, is I'll do the intros like I'm walking up to talking to someone and at the workbench. I'm probably gonna get a different top here, probably one of the bamboo tops, not bamboo machines, but bamboo wood, and have that as like the workflow talking. Like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about today, guys. This is what I think about this machine. This is what I think about this tech. just because it seems like that's more of a not necessarily storytelling aspect, but it's more of like a, hey, I'm talking to my friend, and this is what I think. David, with the 85X, you have to go on screen and define the colors. The same thing with Creator 5, you got to identify the colors when you're loading the material in, and then also when you go to select the file, you do have to identify the colors. It tries to auto select them, but it doesn't do a really good job yet. So again, yeah, it is a two-step process, and the more steps that there are, the less it fits our workflow, and eventually they'll get figured out by the firmware, I'm pretty sure. But right now, and as you see, Toolchanger Alley will develop. My idea thought, and this is subject to change, but right now behind me is the Toolchanger Alley that you guys can see. I got the LEDs ran for the illumination of the set, and as the tool changers come in that we want to test, we want to try, whether they're sent to us or we purchase them ourselves, they'll go on the set and I'll test them out. If they fit our workflow, they'll stay as part of the set permanently, just like the U1s are. And if they don't, and they move somewhere else in the studio and they're used seldomly, you'll know. So it'll be a visual representation. You guys will be able to see at any point in time. You'll see one of our videos and you'll know what printers we're using and what printers we're not using. Now I'm still using things like the P1S's. It's just part of a different set as I drop things on the floor. As you can see, like I said earlier, this is, let me take this overlay off here. Oops. Take off the Gadget Grotto overlay. This is automation station. So it's what I'm building out with like the plate cyclers. You got the A1 Mini there that has this plate cycler that I got to do some maintenance on. I got to put some, and forewarning, if you turn one of your printers into an automated machine, you're going to do maintenance a lot more on it because it's running a lot more. But the A1 Mini right there on the right, that's going to be automation, and I'm testing out the A1 on the stack there because I want to see, okay, if I want to put more than one A1 Mini there with the plate cycler, can I do that? And like, what does that automation look like? Because if I can automate single color prints, that's just, I don't have to touch the machine. So, and you got my cool Amazon box there for a collection point. But we still live with the P1S's. You see them over there. Right now, I'm setting that machine up to test out the Panda vent and to see if that helps with PETG and PLA inside the chamber, if it helps vent it out, so that way, you know, PETG inside of that enclosed chamber, I struggle with this sometimes because it doesn't cool fast enough for me. A1 Mini looking big, yes, it sure is. And I'll be able to walk over to the set, and this is, in theory, I'll do it now, but I'll be able to walk over to the set with you all, and I hope you can see me. I can't see the computer right now, but I'll be able to demonstrate, okay, this is the A1, this is the A1 Mini, this is where the AMS units live. They live underneath the Panda stack. It's really nice. When I move the box, I can pull out, set this down, I can pull out the filament. It's a really unique way to save space. Yeah, you got to go up a little bit, but if you're automating things, it just makes sense. And as I fill this out, I'll be able to showcase things to you guys. Just like with the Panda vent, when it goes on here, I'm going to be showcasing to you all that it works with the, this isn't the Panda stack, this is the Panda perch. The BQ has told me that the Panda perch works with the Panda vent. So I'm excited to be able to showcase that to you all as well. So hopefully you guys got to see that pretty flawlessly. I literally just got that camera set up earlier today, so hopefully that worked out well. And what you can't see is in this new studio, I have up on the ceiling where your camera is currently a grid system to where I can mount multiple cameras. Our members are going to get their own dedicated member. It'll be Couch with Ken or something like that, where I talk to the members about what I'm going to be doing on the channel, what I'm thinking about this next machine, or what power project I'm working on for them, and that's part of the members. That's what their funds go to, or power projects. So the first power project that we're doing in the studio is how to showcase solar for filament drying, and I'm really excited about that. And that's what the super chats go to as well. You guys get to see workflows built out as part of that, and you get to understand and contribute to that if you choose to. And it's really, really cool to see. Right now, that power project that I'm working on is the SUNLU filament dryers. It's going to be powered by the sun. SUNLU is kind of punny, but I literally drilled a hole in the wall so I could run the solar cables out to the backyard. And I'm going to start with 1 or 2 dryers with our Anchor C1000. And I'm going to show you guys how we're going to offset our energy costs for drying our filament. We've got hundreds of rolls of filament that sit out in the air. Okay, before I use them, I need to dry them. And that's what those things go towards. Catch up on some of the comments here. My memory is that of a goldfish. I'm sorry, but can I ask what is the name of that table again? Flexi Spot is the name of this table. So it's so, if you look at our first Creator 5 review video, it's in there too. The Flexi Spot table is so nice. It has saved my back so much. Not even just printer maintenance, just different things that I've been working on in the studio. Being able to adjust the height of this table, I'm not getting any younger. And speaking of not getting any younger, I turned 38 in 4 days, and this coming Saturday, but I'm not getting any younger, so not having to bend over as much is a big deal. Let me catch up on some of the comments here. Man, my printers and filaments are all over the kitchen. Your setup looks way better. Well, if you guys remember the old studio that we were in, I pretty much maxed it out. I had one wall that I could work with, but it was a tiny, not tiny, it was like a 700 square foot studio. So if you're trying to build a print farm, it's a little difficult. But this new studio, as we get it set up, I will show you guys what I'm doing and how I've done it. And that way, if you want to replicate it for a workflow of your own, you can. And that's kind of what our shtick here is on BeGlorious Geeks, is the workflows for our print farm. Other creators do other things, but that's kind of what ours is okay, if it's efficient, if it saves me time, I can go spend time with my family. That's what's important to me. Or I can be editing videos for you all. That kind of stuff, if I can automate it, like Automation Station, that saves me time, makes money for the business, and it helps me to demonstrate to you all a product too. So I mean, it creates multiple solutions to a singular problem. Mrs. K. Flynn, happy early birthday day. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll be working in art fair on my birthday. Go figure. But that was my choice. I chose that. But I appreciate the birthday wishes. One of these days, I'm going to move my printers to the garage so I can just open the garage door. That's another place that I can put printers eventually if we get to a workflow that is more than just the studio. We've got a rather nice garage which can be upgraded. And if we get to that point in the BeGlorious Geeks to where I can showcase the garage workflows for you all, I'd love to do that too. My solution was to make the neighbors not like me, let them know. Kaiji Draw 7787. I would love a video like that. I'm not going to make a print farm, but my print room is getting crampy. I feel I can utilize the space better. Given that it is a long room, the space should be plenty. So for the long room, you're going to want to pay attention for our tool changer alley. That's going to showcase on, I can't remember what the length of the wall is off the top of my head, but I want to say it's at least 30 feet, and it's only like because I'm not going to come out past the, I don't even know what I guess it's called the soffit ish area. I'm not going to come out past there with any of our print workflows. So ideally, I want it to live on the IKEA shelves, the however you pronounce it, Bro shelves. And those are only, I think, 21 inches deep. So if it's bigger than that, it's not going to fit there. And then I got to figure out where it lives. But maybe the Creality K3 Plus is bigger than that, I would imagine. And then I got to figure out where that lives. And I'll have to make another print area for that. But when that happens, I'll cross that bridge. But ideally, I want to do space-saving stuff. And that's kind of what IKEA shtick is all about too, is optimizing areas for, you know, furniture and work and stuff like that. So as you can see, I got tons of SCOTUS panels behind me. I've looked at getting the IKEA, what I think is called Calyx, for like the A1 and A1 Mini, because there's a mod that you can do out there that you can literally print a toilet, and yeah, you can put your A1 or A1 Mini on it, and the purge goes into the toilet down into the Calyx. Could be called something different, but it's the one with the boxes, the storage shelves with the boxes, and you can print doors, and it flushes it down, and it's just something neat. You can put a bin in there and slide it in and out. It's just something that it's been on my radar for a while. I just haven't quite figured out where that lives yet. David, setting up a workflow video would help me as well. Even saving in some cases is big. So if you're gonna get a printer and you want an optimized workflow for it, that's what we're trying to make the channel identity. It's a print farm, essentially. I don't have hundreds of printers, but I do have a workflow that I'm building constantly and optimizing. And space is a big part of that. That's why we got the Panda Stacks. That's why we got the Panda Purchase. They're space savers. I can put my AMS unit under the printer, as you saw earlier, over here in Automation Station. I can put the AMS unit underneath that, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for the A1 or the A1 Mini or any Bamboo printer. That could be for any printer that fits on that stack. And you can pull the drawer out, and it's just super space saving. And that's kind of what we always have been on the channel, is what fits our budget and what fits our workflow. Our budget isn't that $3,000 machine. It's okay, I got anywhere from $500 to $1,000 to spend on the machine, and how do I make it the most efficient machine for the studio? David, also a slicer setting video would also be cool. I have a feeling I'm missing settings that could help my prints. I don't think that feeling ever goes away. I always feel like I'm missing certain settings for my prints too. Just like a while back, if you guys are struggling with PETG on your Snapmaker U1, check your fan settings and your slicer settings, your part cooling fan specifically, and it could be blowing too hard if it's lifting off the build plate. That was something that I discovered. Or actually, I shouldn't say that. It was something I discovered. That was something someone else discovered on the channel. One of our viewers shared it with me, and lo and behold, it solved the pain point for us. That's what the community aspect is all about, helping each other conquer our pain points. David, the things like the stack are the tips that exact tips I'm looking for. And that's kind of the shtick that we are. I'm not the do-it-yourselfer per se, because that requires time. So if you're looking for the do-it-yourself stuff, some of it I'll do, like the Creality space pie dryers, adapting that. There is a little bit of do-it-yourselfers with stuff with modifying that workflow, but it's minimal. Whatever saves us the most amount of time, if you have to spend a little bit of money on it, like the Panda Stack, I'm okay with that, but it's got to optimize it in some way, shape, or form. And something I'm discovering about the Panda Stack, I didn't know this was going to turn into a Panda Stack video, is you can put multiple ones back to back, like you saw over there, and it really, you can use them together. and they have a little drawer that pulls out on the top too that can extend it if you have a slightly bigger printer. You just can't outgrow the width. But I'm trying to figure out for the studio and the set here on what I want to live underneath the U1s. I'm not quite sure yet. The filament's not always going to be there. We'll optimize that section, but you're getting a good idea behind me with Toolchanger Alley. Hopefully over the next week, I'll be able to paint the upside there. So the next time you see me on Print Pretzels, it should be, in theory, tricorn gray. That's the color from Sherwin-Williams. And we got all the shelves finally put in there for the base floor for any additional machines that we put down there. And with the desk the way it is, it's optimized for the workflow. If I'm so the camera you guys are reviewing from is right in front of the bench. I call it the bench. And if I'm working on any printer in the studio, whether it's over on Automation Station, or it's on Toolchanger Alley, or it's down in the corridor, as I'm calling it right now, the bench is in the center of the room because I have attention deficit disorder, and if I don't put something on the bench, I will lose it very quickly. So this is the center point of the studio. So any future recordings, stuff like that, unless I'm specifically working in a machine in a specific area, this is where the recording should take place. Now, that's not set in super stone. That could change, but right now that's what the workflow is. And I'm excited for the dry dock station for you guys to see, because that's also going to be another workflow pain point that I'm solving, drying filament. All right, so we can put it in the AMS dryers and print while we're drying. But what if I have a roll of filament that has been out for quite a while, 6 months or more, and I need to dry it? I can't just throw it in an AMS unit. And that's not going to be a problem everybody's going to have. But if you have a roll of filament that you don't print with very often, I wouldn't just throw it into your machine expecting it to print. You're going to get little pit marks in your filament, most likely, because as it goes through your machine, the water turns to steam in your nozzle, and once it gets in your print, it traps a bubble, and it'll create that pit mark when the bubble pops as your print cools. If you ever wondered why you get the little bubble marks, that's why. Or why you think there's like, why are there little holes over my print? That is one of the reasons that can cause it. So SUNLU wasn't wrong when they said perfect prints start with drying. And then again, I don't know if I'm going to do 1 or 2 of those dry dock stations. And it's not just going to be for one filament dryer. It's going to be whatever fits our workflow, whatever filament dryers that we use most of. Right now, it's the SUNLU dryers. Those SUNLU dryers, the SP2s, I use a ton of them. And it's nice to be able to drop 2 rolls in there at a time and dry them. And then I have to figure out what long-term storage is going to be like in the studio. So that's something I'm still looking for a solution. I have seen the cereal boxes that you can put filament rolls into to store long-term, but I haven't found one that I like because of the way that the top of the containers are. They're always shaped like oblong, like the top of the container always goes over the side, and if I want to put multiple next to each other, it doesn't optimize the space. So I haven't found one that I currently like yet. So what else? What else is workflow that we've optimized in the studio? Well, the filament storage on the back there that you see all the filament rolls up on the Skittle rainbow back there. Those are also for the SCOTUS panels. You can find those on Maker World. You can actually, if you look up the Glorious Geeks on Maker World, our profile, you can see whatever I'm printing, whether I viewed it or printing it. I have some collections on there, but those are the rep rack system modified for the SCOTUS panels. David, how's the humidity in your shop? It's not great. About 50% humidity here in the summer. I don't know what it is for the winter yet, because we haven't been in the studio for winter. But if I open up a filament dryer and let it sit out for a little while, the humidity sensor gets up to between 48 and 54. So not particularly great. We're going to be eventually setting up some battery systems to power the entire print farm. This is long term. To power the entire print farm if there's an outage. I don't miss a beat. Because we've moved from city limits out more into the country. You're still pretty close to the city, but when storms and stuff come through, it's more likely that we're going to have power outages. David, wow. Yeah, and in juxtaposition of that, David, for the humidity, in the wintertime, it gets so dehumid here that if you rub your socks on the carpet, you can static shock someone. So the humidity gets really low in the winter. So I don't have to worry about it so much in the winter, but once summer gets here, that humidity cranks right up. And if you're local in West Michigan, in the fall, I just released a video on this. If you haven't checked it out, I did make a mobile cart for 3D printing. I'll be testing that out this weekend at an art fair. I'm going to put some of the product on it, but I want to see how it moves when I go to move it out of the studio. Because I want to take 3D printing to schools and libraries and stuff and teach people about 3D printing. Like, I'm not going to be an expert on it, but I want to say, hey, this is what you can do with 3D printing. These are the materials you should start with. You should make sure you dry your material. That kind of stuff. David, are you going to set up dehumidifiers? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if I want to set up dehumidifiers or if I just want to use my heaters and figure out long-term storage. Because I need to go through a winter to see what the humidity is in the studio in the wintertime. I'll be able to answer that question more in the spring. Papa Nerd Tech, do you think a place with 60% humidity where I only print PLA is going to make a lot of difference when printing from a Creality Space Pi X4 with my U1? Occasionally I use PETG. So it depends on how long your PLA sits out and what PLA you use. And when I say that, I have, like I stated earlier, I have that humidity here in the studio between 48 and 54 most of the year, and my PLA glow that I don't print with frequently can get pretty fragile all on its own if it's just left out. And you can tell that by the easiest way for me to tell if my PLA needs to be dried is I do the flexibility test. If you go to use your PLA and you bend it, especially with PLA glow or any additive one, you go to bend it and it snaps really easy, that means to me, I have discovered that means it needs to be dried. Give your PLA a test on that, and usually, I can't say always because nothing's definitive in this world, but usually you're okay to print if you have a print while drying, like your Space Pi dryer, or like our Space Pi dryer. It just, it'll be okay. Is it optimal? No, but I hope that answers your question. I would definitely say it's going to make a difference if you can navigate that 60% humidity. I would definitely make sure you dry your stuff. David, I know I use the snap test as well. It's rarely been wrong. PETG isn't as easy when it comes to, and that absorbs moisture pretty quickly.
That's not as easy as to test it, but any of that, if my general rule of thumb, if it's sat out for, oh, and this isn't like end all be all either, but if it's sat out for more than a week, I would at least throw it into a dryer for at least 2 hours if it's for PLA or PETG. Other one, PETG maybe even more than that. Uh, but any other material, I can't speak on. TPU really absorbs moisture from what I hear. I got a couple of rolls that I will put in for a dryer for 12 hours before I even put them in a printer. Um, so 60% humidity is pretty high, so definitely it is going to matter, especially as you get more rolls of filament and you use uh, your colors, you don't use them as much, uh, especially with these tool changers. That's something I have discovered with the U1s. I'm not using my filament nearly as much, and that's a good thing because that means I'm not wasting it. But also, that means I have to solve storing it. So if I get a roll of soccer or pink from SUNLU and I need to use 4 rolls of it on 4 different printers at one time, that means when those are done, I got to store 4 rolls of that soccer or pink. So I got to figure out where those live and how to store them long term with the humidity. David is also right. Cardboard rolls will also soak up moisture even faster. Our LOB rolls, those absorb moisture pretty fast. But the Elegoo is switching over, I've noticed, to different types of spools, and they also have a refill system now, and I'm excited to see that because every once in a while I'll get some Elegoo filament, especially PETG, because they got some good browns that I like. And some of the fancier PETG that I use, you can check out our beacons link, but any filament that I'm usually using on there is there. But Strong Hero 3D on Amazon has some really cool gradient filaments for PETG. They got their translucent rainbow is absolutely gorgeous. Um, it just it has the gradient that I haven't seen anything like it. I might be able to showcase something like that to you here. Let me turn on the print camera in just a second. Let me grab something for you, and I'll show you an example of that PETG. So when I did the Zorbal cart, or the Hatchet Station as I like to call it, I did Strong Hero 3D's filament, but this is their Strong Hero 3D translucent rainbow, and I want to see if the print cam picks it up better. See if it, yeah. So you can really see over here the gradient color of that Strong Hero 3D filament is just gorgeous. I am super impressed with it. The yellow is something different here on the end. That's SUNLU. No, it's not SUNLU translucent yellow. It's a gradient yellow. I don't remember which brand that is, but I ran out at the end there. But everything from here on here is the translucent rainbow. Papa Nerdtech, thank you, man. I'm doing a box that is sealed, and I put 100 grams of silica gel inside. It keeps the air inside the box at 20%, maybe 15%. Every so PLA I use is stored in a place like this. When to print, take it out, print with it with my U1, and put it back. Occasionally, it sometimes goes into the dryer for a little dry time, but I really don't want to connect the dryer to the U1 always. 100%. That's a great workflow. Dry it while printing and then put it back. That's what I'm looking to optimize to do. I'm looking at different like storage bins, not so much the cereal bins, but do they have and if you guys know, drop it in the comments or send me an email. If you have found like the totes out there that are the proper size for a roll of filament, but like 10 rolls of filament, but it's not too deep, I'd like to check that out too, because I want to optimize storing the filament, but I don't want it to take up a ton of shelf space depth-wise. As you can see up behind me, ideally, I'd like to be able to keep it up on the wall and it doesn't stick up off the wall too much. I got that dehumidifier cabinet, but I haven't mounted it yet. because I had been working on the rest of the stuff that's more higher in the workflow to get the studio back up and running from the transition. So if you have a pain point that you're struggling with for workflow, drop it in the comments, replay family or chat family, drop it in the chat, because that's something we're all going to have pain points in our workflow. Just like I haven't found that solution for long-term storage yet. That doesn't require a ton of space. Papa Nerd Tech, thanks for the shout out and the super chat. Keep it up. You and Keo are the best channels for me lately. I appreciate it. Shout out to Keo too. I really like his channel. I like his editing style too. He's got some good content out there. So shout out to you, Keo, if you watch our channel. I watch your channel frequently too, and I'm subscribed. Don't worry. But I appreciate that super chat, and that'll be a super chat that goes towards the power project here pretty soon. I wish I could turn the camera around so you guys can see it, but I got to film some content on it. I've got a stack of probably 12 dryers and a battery station over on the wall that's by the doors for the dry dock station. So shout out to you, Papa Nerd Tech. Thanks for contributing to that power project. David Vandenbroek, Keo Prince is his channel, and he does some great content. I really like his channel. So, but if you guys have any sort of workflow issues, let me know. I'll help to try to solve them too. I probably have a similar one as I build up the print farm here, and we get more printers, and we do more art fairs. And I'm actually going to, if you guys have any experience with this, let me know. I'm going to try out Whatnot and trying to sell some things on Whatnot here shortly too. So I'm really excited to see what that's all about. And if that's a long-term thing for us, I'm going to try it out. And like I said, if you have any tips on selling on Whatnot, hit me up on the emails or in the Discords. But I'm super excited for you all to see the new studio here. As we get settled into the studio, things find where they live in the studio. We get automation stations set up. We get Couch with Ken set up. If you guys know any good couch covers, let me know. I could use some of those too. But we get Toolchanger Alley set up. Still don't know what we're going to call the corridor yet. Dry docks 1 and 2 will get set up. I'm super excited for everything. Super excited for everything that you guys are going to get to see. And I'm hoping my intent for this is to help you all, and one way, shape, or form, as I share it and what we're doing, it'll inspire you as well to explore this great world of 3D printing that's out there and save you either some time, some money, or some headache. That's important. As I lean against my flexi spot desk here, might have to move that to the side, but it's enjoyable to do this kind of stuff for you all. Learning what pain points are for this hobby and conquering them is enjoyable, and showcasing it is the most enjoyable part, so you guys can see and do it on your own, and explore that and let me know if it works for you. As I share that Space Pi dryer, guess it's hack, I'll call it, to print while drying and not have to manually load your filament even through the auto feeder. It's just nice. Do you guys use Spoolman? I've not heard of them. So I'll have to look that up or look them up. So as we get close to the end of the Print Pretzels episode here, I do want to recap. As far as the Creator 5 and U1 goes, what fits our workflow is the U1. And it's not that the Creator 5 doesn't completely fit our workflow. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying the Creator 5 doesn't work. I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm actually saying it's really good. And here is another example. I'll show again on the print cam. Right here. This was printed on the Creator 5. This Cinder Wing Sunflower Dragon in the G-Tech Silk Gold. And there's no visual VFAs. I can't remember what VFA stands for right now. Visual something. But there's no issues with it at all. And that's what our workflow is. We print articulated things for kids for art fairs, and I enjoy doing that, bringing the joy to the kids. But it's a beautiful print. The silk didn't have any issues printing. Now, I did the same material, different file, same material on the U1, and same thing. Great print. This is the Cyberpunk Dragon from Cinderwing 3D, same artist, and it's got a fidget spinner for the tail actually. But the GTEC Gold, it is beautiful, and it's same roll too. I used the same roll of filament. It wasn't just like two separate rolls. I wanted to use the same roll of filament, and if this was our prior generation of printers, I wouldn't have been able to do that, simply because the waste probably would have been too much, and I wouldn't have been able to get through it all. But since it saves so much filament, I could use the same filament on multiple prints, and that just showcases the power of all of these tool changers and how much savings it'll add up over time. David, bed adhesion is also an issue. Yes, it kind of is. For us, I think it was like a week into it, I upgraded to the Cryos plate from Ibos, and it saved me so much headache. I enjoy that build plate. BQ doesn't have one out for them yet, for that machine yet. I'm sure they will, but that was the first cryo plate out there. And there's a bonus to these cryo plates, actually two bonuses. If you guys get a cryo plate and you have a power outage, it's less likely to pop off than these gold plates, PEI plates, because those are designed as they cool, they release the print. Well, the cool plates are kind of the exact opposite. Even when they cool down, they won't release your print until you crack them. 90% of the time. Every once in a while they will, but they hold, the adhesion holds really well. So, but you can also print at a lower temperature, which over time will save you energy. Yeah, if you only have one printer, it's not going to make a ton of difference. If you get to 3-4 printers, it will make a difference in your electric bill. And I've even had some viewers say that it allows them to put multiple printers on the same breaker because they don't have to heat up as much and as long. David, I have hardened steel nozzles on my Cheaty X3, and it works well for wood and other filaments that are rough. Yes, the Creator 5, that's another bonus that comes with that. It comes with hardened steel nozzles. The U1 you will have to upgrade to. And we are running some of the hardened steel nozzles on the first two printers over there for glow filament, and they've been holding up just fine. Kaichi Draw 7787. I found this storage container from my local place. It fits exactly 2 filaments, a silicon container, height is just right, used to work well with my Neptune. Oh, the Neptune from Elegoo. I used to have a Neptune 4 Pro. I started with the Neptune 2s is when I first started printing, 3D printing. David, don't buy off-brand plates unless it's Comgrouse. I bought off-brand and it's worse than the original bed. Yeah, and this was the first time I tried Ibos's plates, and I really liked them. It was the first time I really branched out other than BQ, because I've been using the BQ plates since we got our first P1S, and I've loved them. The bed adhesion just works, and I save energy costs. So. MRSK Flynn, or Mrs. K Flynn, I think, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Did you upgrade the nozzles to harden? I touched on that answer, but the first 2 machines have hardened steel nozzles, and then the second 2 machines do not have hardened steel nozzles. And I've printed some glow on these machines, and it doesn't seem like it's been too much of an issue. But if you're going to print glow material extended for PLA or PETG, because it's got the abrasive additives, aluminum strontium, I think is what it's called. Don't quote me on that, but there is an additive that makes it abrasive, and it will bore out your nozzles. So eventually you'll go from a 0.4 to a lopsided 0.6 hole in your nozzle, and it'll add up over time. Now, what I want to test, and I'm not sure if it's been unlocked yet for the U1, but Creality's been advertising you can use a 0.4 on the outside and a 0.6 on the inside for infill. I want to try that with glow filament. I would love to be able to do that because I can print glow filament faster. I keep having typos. I should really read before sending. I'm the same way. I type send and then read. I'm the same way. So, but as we wrap up Print Pretzels tonight, the Creator 5 fits our workflow, just not super optimized workflow. We've done as much as we can to it. We've added the Chi2 E1 dryer, which makes filament loading much easier, but the manual cutting and unloading process, and even more specifically, if you want to change it all four colors of filament or 4 materials, it takes a much longer time than the U1 does, and that is what saves us time with multiple machines. And I really enjoy saving that time because then I'm programming files in long term. If I'm saving more time long term, I get to spend more time with my family, and that's what matters, is spending time with family and loved ones. So that's the ultimate goal, is to automate things, save time if you're running a business. If you're not, it's not going to make that much of a difference to you, but it will make a difference if you're standing there trying to load prints. And that's the biggest point that I can make between the two machines, other than the bed size, which is semi-obvious. The purge is a problem, but that can be solved. The purge spaghetti, that can be solved. We did it with a purge bucket, printable. We printed out a PETG. Note on that, if you print out a PETG, TPU is going to stick to it like a hot knife and butter. So if you're printing TPU, just be prepared to reprint the purge bucket at the end of that session, because the TPU won't come off of it. But we solved that, and a printable purge bucket is not that big of a deal for me. I can swap it out. It even includes spots with magnets. So the Creator 5 works, and for the price point, it absolutely works. And for those of you that want the lowest possible tool changer that functions and is great, the Creator 5 is a great place to start. If you want the more polished overall workflow, the U1 is going to be the great place to start. You'll spend a little bit more money, but you get a little bit more of a defined workflow. The software is a little less clunky. The filament loading process is a lot less clunky, and you just get a bigger build volume. So that's what I have for you guys tonight for the Creator 5 and the U1. If you like this and enjoy this, don't forget to like the video, hype it, and stay subscribed as we cover these long form videos, cover the machines that are coming out, and cover workflows that we're going to be doing. And until next time, be glorious.